Previously on Wacky and Weird.
The time has come for us to actually dive into the fourth adventure challenge.
Not show each other what we wrote.
Plain creepy.
Let's do a poem.
Flan.
Sharpie.
Demonology.
Oh boy. Gourd.
Menagerie. Or
Mandarin.
Mandarin.
I don't know if that's a word.
What the heck is a mandarin?
Maybe I meant Mandarin.
You mean like the Marvel character or like an orange? A manly tangerine?
Pick a different one because that's not a word.
Spooky.
Aw.
We have concocted a most deviously delightful tale for you.
We are also going to do the same thing, but we're gonna make our own pieces of work.
Okay, nope. No, thank you.
Why is this happening? This is called The Great Escape.
The world's best slam poetry or gangster rap. This is called The Reality of Dreams.
I like that.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
This is the most unique thing I've ever heard.
Wow. All right, this is like next level awesome. Really stoked for this.
Create a comic strip with 3 to 6 panels that tell the story of your relationship. Draw pictures, write captions, and color it in. Here's the catch. All the words must be written using Chinese characters. Use Google Translate for assistance. If your isn't super broke, find a custom comic strip service online and order the comic book of your love story.
I'm pretty confident in saying that we'll actually create our own as opposed to buying one.
Oh yeah.
Because I know you're a fantastic artist.
You are too, boo.
Even just doing a comic strip is interesting, but I think with the Chinese characters, that adds another element.
I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be like a overtime one instead of just sit down and do the video in one night. I feel like it's gonna take, yeah, some time to sketch out and like decide what we want in each panel.
1 to 2 hours, that's like 1 to 2 weeks, I feel.
And you felt correctly.
I guess it depends on the level of detail or what you want to do. I mean, yeah, I guess you could just draw stick figures, but...
Who knows when you'll see this video, I mean, really. Whenever we're ready, you will see the beginning of a story. Hey everyone, how's it going? It has been a very long time since we've seen you last. Tonight we are just going to do the brainstorming of the project. So we have our nice pieces of white paper and we have our 2 pencils. Just be like a tic-tac-toe kind of deal.
Kind of, yeah. You could do like 2 by 3. You could do like comic books sometimes have like 1 wide.
Yeah.
It feels like an entire thing and then do smaller ones or something like that.
Yeah, kind of like a fractal. Like
Yeah.
but an abstract fractal. I wish we could just make a whole comic book.
Yeah, I feel like we could. The idea I'm getting is like, I think the first few panels should maybe be sort of like the very beginning and then maybe the end could be like, and here we are today or something like that.
But that's the problem though,
Yeah.
like 6
Gotta
of
do
them.
a time jump.
I feel like, all right, so let's think of highlights. I'm just gonna write in words here. So this one is definitely like maybe the first day.
That was what I was thinking, like the want to go for a walk.
When I ask you like, what are we? Or do you want to do stuff in between that? Oh no, we want to do the carnival.
I was gonna say the
I'm
carnival has to
sorry.
be one.
That was stupid of me.
No.
What are
What
we?
are we?
I was thinking our car situation.
That I think we can leave out.
Okay, we don't have to put that in. I'm sorry.
No, it was very silly, but I think maybe Halloween costumes, something with that, because that's been a good one.
Yeah. Or holidays? Oh no, Halloween. Halloween has been
holidays
big ones.
have been like, I mean, we've celebrated all the holidays and stuff, which has been really fun. But I think Halloween, especially, like getting to make our costumes and all that, has been.
Yeah.
And like going to Salem.
That's
so this
fun.
would be kind of like, here we
Video.
are today.
Oh,
like,
video.
We could, just draw like a panel of us drawing this comic on video.
And then it goes, and then we draw us drawing,
Yes.
drawing.
A good like small panel. Trying to think out spacing because they don't all have to be the same size. This one I think would make like a really cool wide shot.
Yeah. Oh, I just thought of the painting.
Yeah.
Oh, we should put Midna in here. Draw her here.
Or I guess instead of camping, like that was the first time you met Midna, really.
Yeah, that's true. Why? I feel like we're doing a storyboard here. Wide shot.
Yeah.
Short film. Boom.
Which I think would be fun too. I think we should definitely do that at some point.
Yeah, this will be like Adventure Challenge, Couples Edition.
Yeah.
All right. If you
Yeah.
want to hear more.
Like 3/4 or 2/3.
Yeah. It's just a small shot of us walking.
Yeah.
From an audience, see, it's like it has to be a movie now or a film. From an audience perspective, if you look at this, it could be like we're behind the couch, and then I'm here, like my head is here.
I was
you're
thinking
here.
the same thing and have like the TV in the background or something. With the Stooges.
That and also like the bay window and have it like.
Oh yeah, yeah. This one I was thinking that our dialogue should be us singing Taco in a Bag.
Yes.
That would be fun to translate to Chinese.
Should this one just be her, like an aerial shot of her walking? Or should it be all of us walking?
Kind of like the video that is Puppy Puppy.
Okay.
Where it's like her looking back.
Oh.
If you could do that. Or just her looking ahead, just like.
Walking.
We could split the panel in 3.
Okay.
Or something, just do like all 3 Halloweens that we've done.
Yeah.
Or do we just want to do like one focus and maybe like where we could have it where it's like maybe our first Halloween costumes like in the middle and then have like our other ones off on the sides and then like other little Halloweeny details or something. Or we could like, I was thinking split it into 3 and have each of the 3 years of costumes.
Start off small, like the very first one, the second one a little big over here, and then the third one down in the corner of us, like our third costumes,
Yeah.
but have it like smoky.
Yeah.
Because it was like in the past and now we're in the present. It's coming up like closer.
Yeah.
Having, like you said, other Halloween details
Yeah,
around.
kind of like something like Salem and Jack-o'-lanterns or something.
Yeah. Candy. Oh, full-size candy bars.
Yes.
Oh, I have an idea.
Oh, what's your name?
We could do like a Jekyll and Hyde situation. One half of you is Snow Miser, one half of you is a werewolf, and then for me, Heat Miser and a weird witch.
There you go, yeah.
People would be like, what is this? Or draw us as Heat Miser and Snow Miser, but one of us is holding a moon, a full moon, the other one is holding a cauldron or something.
Ooh.
Or having like that, like those two things as a random like piece, like around her head or in front of us or something. I don't know.
So like, yeah, Snow Miser.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the background it's like a werewolf shadow. I'll do the captions, you can do the drawing.
I think we've captured our brainstorm
Yes,
that we have in our
certainly.
brain. All right, everyone, we'll see you in a couple minutes.
Yeah, that's all it'll take. Yeah, because this I
fun.
think is going to take a bit of time.
I agree.
Because we're going to be a little busy between now and finishing this.
This is us talking from the past,
Yes.
future past.
Future, past, present, participle, plural noun.
The video before this video, my hair will be green. It's because I will be dyeing it tonight slash not when you see this, but tonight as in we're recording it.
So I guess we're finally on the last phase, finishing up our comic, and it's just adding in the captions that have to be translated into Chinese characters. So I think this one we're just gonna want to go for a walk.
Yeah. Wow.
Jiang Chu San San Wu Ma. It's gonna be a little in depth to write this. Well, I have had a tiny bit of practice with kanji, so this makes it a little easier to figure out. And this is traditional Chinese as opposed to simplified, which I don't know if it makes a difference.
Like we said before, go big or go home.
Exactly. I mean, there's what, 2 to 6 panels we could do, or 3 to 6? We just had to go the whole way. So, what do we want this one to be?
Is it not the same over and over again?
Yeah, I think it is. I'm curious to know what taco is in Chinese. Jia Yumi Bing.
You got a whole panel.
Yeah, I forgot. This one's got the longest one possible. Also, too, I don't know how accurate this Google Translate stuff is. I know back in the day, Google Translate was very unreliable when it came to like actually translating things. I would think but that by now they're actually pretty spot on with their translations, especially if they translate actual images into text. Da Zhuangxia Yumi Bing is taco in a bag. See, we're also a learning channel. You get to learn Chinese.
Yeah, from the experts.
I mean, you've learned German, you've learned Japanese, you've learned Chinese. I think you've learned Korean at some point.
Some Korean.
British. All right, this one is going to be What Are We? What are we? 我们是什么?
Uh-huh.
All right, this one is not very complex, which is good because we made a very tiny box. I feel like our boxes were very arbitrary. This one, I didn't know what we were going to call this one.
Oh, meaning fur baby.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Babu. That's baby, isn't it?
Bao Bao, I guess is baby. Yu Jian Mao Pi Bao Bao.
Cute.
Something like that. This one's going to be This Is Halloween. I think this one is The Adventure Continues. All right, that's not too bad. I got enough room here. All right, last one. Here we go. Mao Xian Hai Shi Chao Shu. The Adventure Continues. I have to appreciate there are people who this is all they do to write. They just have to do this all the time. And it's so complicated, but I suppose when you've been doing it your whole life.
Like your trade is literally drawing characters and writing.
First, line work is done. Make these look all nice. This is actually a Fudenosuke pen for specifically writing kanji and hiragana and katakana, which I found at Target of all places.
So the first panel, we are walking together, and basically this is one of the first times we've ever interacted with each other, and Nick was new to his job, and I was there, and I asked him if he wanted to go for a walk. At the time, like, I had no real, like, impulses or really anything to come out of it. I just wanted to make him feel, like, welcome, because it can be really stressful at our place. I was very surprised he said sure, because I thought he was very attractive and very cute. But like I said, I didn't want to like make anything of it. I just want him to feel comfortable and maybe like gain a friend or something. The first panel is us basically walking or taking our first walk together.
It was surprising for me too because when I first met Ruth, my initial thought was she's way too cool and she will never talk to me. Literally what I was thinking. I'm a very introverted person and I don't normally take chances, and at that time in my life, like, social interaction was something I wasn't too big on, but I was trying to focus on a mindset of being more open, being more approachable, being a bit more extroverted. So this was really like one of those spur of the moment things where I'm like, what the heck, I'll just go for it, I'll say yes. Even though, like, previous Nick was, like, thinking, no, you know, avoid social interaction. But I'm glad that I did, and that it all worked out.
Yeah.
And so for this panel, too, that's kind of like, that explains the design of it, where it's like the dark chaos surrounding us symbolizes sort of what was going on in our lives. And then I tried to color in, like, it's a little hard to see, but rays of light shining down on us, because we were the light in the darkness.
Yeah.
So the next panel is a picture of us at a local carnival. It was one of our first dates. We were just friends at that point, just co-workers. Ruth invited me to go to this carnival. I said yes, and we ended up spending, I think, 6 hours walking around this carnival, basically in a loop, just over and over and over, like the entire night, just like laughing, talking, like getting to know each other, and it was just a lot of fun. And it was, I think, just one of the definitive early moments in our relationship where we just really got to know each other and just kind of like clicked, like our interests, our sense of humor especially. And that's why the caption of this is taco in a bag, because one of the vendors was selling taco in a bag, which is basically just Doritos with taco meat and like lettuce and cheese slapped on top of it. And for some reason we came up with this song, taco in a bag, taco in a bag.
Taco in a bag.
Taco in a bag. Yeah, and we kept singing that throughout the night. And so that was like one of the many kind of highlights of that night. And then yeah, it ended with fireworks right at the end. So that's kind of why we chose to have it at night there with the fireworks.
Yeah, and at the time too, like I was starting to really like Nick, but I was also being very cautious still. But like in my head, I was fighting against myself. Remember, Ruth, we're just friends. Even though he's a great guy that you know so far, you two are clicking so incredibly well, which is very surprising. Just be careful. I started to get like having strong feelings at that point too.
And that leads us to the next panel.
Yeah, we had this street fair kind of thing, and we decided to go together and just like kind of walk around, hang out. I invited him back to my house just to like kind of hang out and talk some more. How long did we know each other until then?
I think it was just a little over a month.
All right, I remember that. Okay, like we were just getting along scarily well. So we were like sitting on the couch and we were just staring out the window because it was a beautiful day. I just decided to just go for it and be like, I turned to him and I was like, what are we? But in a more not awkward way. Nick actually said, I'm glad you asked me that because I was wondering that too. I think that was that day.
Yeah, because it had a very interesting coincidence because we had the street fair thing and then I think it was your mom said, so is there anything you have on Facebook?
Oh yeah, we want to tell like your grandmother or whatever, and I'm like, no, what are you talking about? And then it finally clicked when they were leaving. I'm like,
yeah.
No!
And so the funny thing was I was going to actually bring that up that day, ask Ruth if she wanted to, actually be my girlfriend. And then I'm like, dang it, now it'll sound like I was just like only asking because her mom said something. So I waited till the next day.
Like prompted.
And then it was funny too because we'd been working on the play at that point, I think.
Oh, that's right.
And the director had called me up. He's like, oh yeah, so, and this was before like Ruth and I were actually dating. And he's like, yeah, so if you want to like take time off and like go on a date with Ruth or something, like that's perfectly fine, just let me know. Oh boy. So it was inevitable, but that was the moment.
Yeah, I think it was a very touching moment.
Yeah.
Because we kissed.
Yes.
Kind of sang a song in his ear. If you want to know the song, it was You Light Up My Life. Yes, it's a very beautiful song. If you haven't heard of it, look it up. It's very nice. It's actually a song that I listened to for a very long time, and it's ironic because the CD that it was on, it was my summer CD. Like every song that I heard from it, it reminded me of summertime, and I always was a hopeless romantic. It's crazy. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know. So it just meant a lot to me.
Yeah. So this next one here, this one is captioned Meeting Fur Baby. I think this was maybe a month after this panel here, just about the way things worked out was when Ruth met my puppy Midna for the first time. And we went and took her for a walk out on a woodland trail. It was the beginning of a very special friendship and relationship because I think of all the people Midna has met in her almost 4 years now, I can't believe
Really?
it. Yeah. Next year she'll be 4 already.
What?
But yeah, I think she definitely has the strongest reaction to Ruth. Like she gets so excited whenever she first sees Ruth after a while, or even if it's just like the next day Ruth comes over again and she sees her, Midna just goes crazy. She just loves her so very much, and I know Ruth loves Midna too.
Oh, absolutely.
Midna's become a very important and special part of our relationship too.
The next one is pretty big. I don't really remember how we started talking about Halloween, like that year when we started dating, what happened, but do you remember? Because I actually don't remember that much about it.
I think it must have just come up at some point in our getting to know each other that we both A, love fall as a season, and B, love Halloween as a holiday, and the idea of just making our own costumes. Ruth had previously done a lot of her own homemade costumes before, and that was something that I hadn't really done all that much but had been interested in, especially making a werewolf costume. That was the first year, and then we had planned a trip to Salem too, kind of like starting on the costumes for that, where we kind of did partial costumes again, and then did the full costumes for Trick or Treat.
I helped Nick make his werewolf costume, And that actually, to be honest, the costume that I wore the first year was not homemade. I did our makeup and stuff. It was such a fun time.
Yeah.
And at my house, we give out, we as in us, give out full-size candy bars. So that's also something very special that I think kids like. And then the second year, we full out made our costumes. We just straight out did it. He was a scarecrow and I was the raven. That was like the most intricate costume I've ever made, like mine.
Same, yeah. That was a lot of in-depth work. And again, it was another thing where I've always found scarecrows to be really like creepy. Like, I'm not afraid of them, but I think they're a really creepy theme, and I'd always wanted to do like a really creepy scarecrow costume. And with your help, it came out fantastically. It was also a weird year because that was the one that we were kind of like in the midst of the pandemic, and we didn't know how trick-or-treat was going to go. We didn't even know if there was going to be trick-or-treat, but we were very committed to making our costumes and still, you know, handing out candy if we could. And luckily, we were still able to do trick-or-treat, but really appreciated our costumes.
There are a few kids who were pretty creeped out of him, and I don't blame them because this picture right here that we're going to show you, it's pretty creepy if you just walk by and we're just standing there still watching them.
And then on the other end of the spectrum was this year's costumes, where we decided to be the opposite of creepy.
Silly.
Yeah.
If you look at this, of course you see two funky characters in the front. We have Heat Miser and Snow Miser, and I say to everyone, if you don't know who that is, we have to rekindle our friendship because they're characters from the movie A Year Without a Santa Claus, and that's one of my, if not my favorite Christmas movie. I'm a huge Rankin Bass fan. We thought, hey, why not? Because we actually talked about that earlier in the year or the year after, before that.
We were just like coming up with ideas for couples costumes, like wacky off the wall ones. And then this one I think was predominantly inspired by the idea that you were going to have the red hair for fall and around Halloween. So you're just like, hey, well, I have this red hair. Why not just be Heat Miser?
That's right. It's perfect. And it worked out so well.
Oh, yeah. I think these costumes looked amazing. Just like the characters.
Yeah, our parents were very impressed. And like they know who the characters were, so they were like. And then behind us, you can see that behind me is a witch's hat, and behind Nick is a wolf. Again, we went to Salem this year, and instead of being Heat and Snow Miser, because this is Salem, and I don't think anyone would have gotten it.
And we hadn't really worked on those costumes at that point.
That's right. I handmade my dress that I wore to Salem, and I was like a vampire witch, and then you were your werewolf again.
Yeah, I basically rewore the costume, but I didn't do the face paint. I just did the fangs, the contacts, and like styled my hair with some gray hair paint. Yeah, that was another really, really fun trip, because Salem is just a great place to go in October. And again, we both times that we went for the first year that we were together, and then this past Halloween, we went like the first weekend, and it was packed full of people. It must be intense there, like actually on Halloween.
I know, you have to like live in Salem to experience it, so you don't have to like travel anywhere.
Yeah.
But one day I think we should.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially now that we know sort of a game plan for beating traffic to get there.
Yeah, and like where things are.
That leads us to our last panel.
Creepy.
I mean, there are so many. We could have filled an entire book full of comic panels to explain our relationship and all the fun things we've done, all the adventures we've been on. Major life moments, whether it's been stuff for like plays or church stuff or traveling or camping or hanging out with our friends and family. Just so much stuff that we've done. It was very hard to pick out 6 panels, even though it's, 3 to 6. I couldn't imagine only doing 3. And a lot of these were from like the first few months of our relationship, but I think it's good to just kind of have like the origin story, but there's been so much that's gone on in between. But we decided to end it with the adventure continues, because it is constantly an adventure being together. It's us drawing this comic. The story keeps going on and on and on. I figured that'd be just a good place to say, like, this isn't the end of the story, but this is the present moment, as it were.
That's our comic.
Yes. At long last.
Fun fact, during our 2 to 3 week process of drawing everything, we actually looked forward into our adventure book, and we already picked out what we want to do next.
Yes.
We flipped to the chapter that says Food with Bae. We actually haven't done a food one yet.
We ate at a restaurant, but that doesn't really count.
That's true.
This is a cooking one, I think.
The one we're gonna do is Recipe for Disaster. There's like a little budget between $10 to $30 before 7 p.m. supposedly, and it takes between 3 to 4 hours supposedly. And according to the icons, you do it indoors. There are supplies you have to buy, and of course it involves food. I scratched last time, so
Yep.
you scratch this time.
All right, so here we go. Finally, I mean, it has been quite a while since we've scratched off a new one, but and hopefully it doesn't take quite as long. All right, here goes. Recipe for disaster. Off to an interesting start.
Ooh.
Not how I was expecting it to go. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Oh, boy. This is going to be interesting.
Oh no. I don't want to.
Well, we have to. That's the rule. You got to do it.
No, don't. I know. No turnsy backsies.